What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have to talk about a rumor that broke late in the night, depending on when you guys are even watching this video, but comes from Insider Gaming. Insomniac is gearing up to show more from Wolverine, it's claimed. And actually, this is from Caracassus, who's a pretty darn good insider. They get a good amount of things right, and that's going to become important when we talk about like what they're actually talking about. So he says, from my little digging, it looks like Sony is gearing up to show off some new stuff from Marvel's Wolverine. It's hard for me to determine when it'll happen, but I'm guessing it'll be this year, either at the Game Awards or at some unannounced super secret event. And okay, two things to talk about there, and really it's the locations, right, of where it could appear. I believe Caracassus, I mean, again, they do get quite a bit of things right. So for me, it's like, okay, now Game Awards, we've talked a lot about games that make sense at the Game Awards, like the Tomb Raiders of the world, the Resident Evils of the world. You know, if you want to dip into like one PlayStation game, one Xbox game, maybe something like Avowed or Fable, or maybe even like a Doom or Gears of War would make sense. I mean, you actually have a lot of options for Xbox. PlayStation, yeah, like Wolverine, Death Stranding would come to mind, maybe a Ghost of Yotei. You also have, you don't have equal, but you definitely have a good amount for both of them. So, okay, Game Awards, but what I really want to focus on is that super secret event, right? So, like, why do they say it like that? Because I really think with every passing day and every passing week, every time we talk about these rumors of a PlayStation showcase, look, I know, I don't want to get too pumped up, right? Because if there's a showcase, then, like, the Sly Cooper, hype inside me starts to come alive, and I don't need that for my heart rate. If it's not going to be true, I don't need to kill myself for it to not actually happen. But, with all of these days that are going, we keep hearing, now this, he doesn't say PlayStation Showcase, right? But we keep hearing about this rumored showcase in December, and the fact that he says super secret event is like, well, what else would it be, right? Like, if you're showing Wolverine, you're showing it at a PlayStation event or the Game Awards. That's it. You're not showing it anywhere else over the next 2 months. I mean, really 2 months until the end of the year, right? Okay, so if you're not showing at the Game Awards, then I think he would be talking about a showcase. And if you're talking about a showcase, we've heard that rumor twice now, maybe even 3 times now in the past like week and a half. So look, I know things tend to pop up kind of all over the year for like showcases, but I don't know, like this close to each other, I don't actually think this happens all that often. Normally you hear, okay, the showcase is coming, then it goes quiet, then it doesn't happen, then a few months later you hear it again, and then it doesn't happen again, and it's just that cycle of disappointment for like a year and a half. But this one, it's a different cycle. It could still be of disappointment, but it's a different cycle because we've heard it like 3-4 times in the span of like what, maybe like 2-3 weeks. So like it's closer together and it's different people saying it. And by the way, not to always bring up like other things, versus Wolverine, but like to the Sly Cooper stuff that we've been talking about quite a bit, there's been other people that are in like the Sly fandoms I've seen on Twitter that have said like, hey, normally I don't report on this stuff, or normally it's just fake, but I've heard it's true as well. There's like 2 or 3 people that I've personally seen on Twitter that say there is a Sly thing coming, besides Colin Lack that we always talk about. So again, just something to kind of keep in mind, because like Sly is a rumored game at the showcase. Twisted Metal is a rumored game, and now potentially Wolverine. It's like, okay, if you do a showcase and you give me Sly freaking Cooper, and then Twisted Metal comes back, and then you show off more Wolverine like gameplay, you're gonna have a really good December, right? And a December, I think many people would not expect you to have. Now, that's if it happens. And honestly, they've given us no reason to believe them because not the leakers, just the event itself, right? There hasn't been any in a year and a half. The last showcase was pretty terrible, so they haven't given a lot of hope for like why we would expect a showcase. But I don't know, it just, to me, it feels weirder and weirder that like it's picking up steam the way that it is. But specifically, to kind of just end this on Wolverine once again, I'm excited. Like, I think, because of the leaks and because of all that stuff, like obviously they're in a tough situation, but they do have to kind of come out strong, especially just with all the stuff that's happened. You kind of got to give it your all. It's got to make a really good first impression, I guess, because it's technically already made a first impression to a lot of people. So you have to kind of, if people were doubting it or not happy with what they saw in the leaks, now you have to kind of prove like, hey, like it's okay now, right? Things like that. Like I've said before, like I actually have a lot of hope in Wolverine. I think it's going to be okay, but you let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.